Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen to me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now, guys. If you guys are able to listen to me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Okay, in today's class, there will be no issues with the buffering, guys. I've shifted myself to a co-working space so that I'm able to get the good quality Wi-Fi, not the home quality Wi-Fi itself. Okay, so today there will be no issues with the buffering like yesterday. Today is day 4 itself, guys. It is written day 5, but still it is day 4 itself. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know, guys. So today I've shifted to a common area itself. There shouldn't be any issues with the internet today. Okay, so we can focus upon the learning aspect itself. So yesterday up till what were you able to listen to me properly? Could you guys let me know? Yesterday up till what particular topic were you guys able to listen to me? Listen to me, please let me know, guys, so that I'll continue from right over there itself. Thank you so much, Rohan, for that. Could you please let me know, guys, up till what topic were you guys able to listen to me yesterday exactly? So I'll continue from right over there itself, guys. We started out with the introduction to React.JS, right? I was showing you Airbnb, and Airbnb, I was not able to complete the understanding itself, right? We just started out with React.js. Okay, so no issues in that. We will continue from right over there. That the question right now is, why do we require React.js? That is the major question right now, guys. That is, why do we require React.js right over there? So let us go back to the Airbnb site itself. That is what we were doing yesterday. So let us go back to the Airbnb site. And let me take up a snippet of this. Make it a little bit smaller. Okay, and I'll take up a new snippet from right over here of the website. And this is what we will be working with. So let me make it a bit bigger. Okay, are you guys able to see my screen? Please let me know. Find my pen in the meanwhile. Yeah, I got my pen. Right over here, guys, as you're able to see, every single one of these boxes that I'm making is repeating itself again and again, right? And you are having the only thing that is changing is the data within it. The structure remains the same. You're having this heart right over here. You're having the carousel of images that are there, multiple images. You're having the location, which particular country is it located, how many kilometers away it is, what is the price per night. So as you're able to see, most of the things are the same. The only thing that is changing is the data within it. The images are changing, the location is changing, the distance is changing, when it is available is changing, the price per night is changing. That is the only thing that is changing again and again right over here, right? So if I wanted to create this in the ancient, in the traditional manner of creating a website, I'll have to use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create it. So whatever code of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that I use to create one of these cards itself, guys, one of these cards, I have to copy paste the exact same code for this particular card to make this particular card to make this particular card, and so on and so forth. I have to copy and paste the exact same code more than 100 times or maybe even 1,000 times to make all these cards itself. Now that is making our code unnecessarily big. Okay, it is not adding any productive value to us. It's just making our code bigger and bigger. It is having no particular value. And if I want to change something inside of my card, let's assume I want to change this heart to a star itself. I just want to do a very simple change. Instead of having a heart, I want to make it a star. In that case, I will have to edit all these codes, all these cards itself. 1,000 times I pasted my HTML code. I have to go all to those all those 1,000 times itself. I will have to change each and every heart to a star. A very, very, very big and lengthy process. So there comes React.js. React.js says that instead of writing this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code, why don't we just put together this code into one JavaScript function itself? We'll put all this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code that was individually present initially into one JavaScript function itself, and we'll call this particular function as a component. We'll call this particular function itself as a component, and once you have created one particular set of code, that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, put inside of a component itself, then instead of writing that same code again and again, you can now, just like a function in JavaScript, call that particular component, and that will create a new card for you. You don't have to write the exact same code again and again. We have already studied functions, right? And we know that functions can just be called. We don't have to write that same piece of code again and again and again. That is one of the biggest advantages. This component model that is there, that React.JS introduced to the entire world, was a game changer. Instead of writing that same code 1,000 times, now I can just call that component that will execute this entire thing for me. Are you guys able to understand? One of the best benefits of using React.js, one of the first and the foremost benefits of using React.js is this. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know, guys. Great. The second particular thing is, how many of you guys have ever used Facebook at any particular point of time? How many of you guys have used Facebook? The old Facebook, guys, not the new one, the old one. If you guys remember to check if you have got any new particular message or any new notification itself, you had to refresh the entire page again and again to check for it. You guys remember? The early versions of Facebook that was there, you had to refresh the website again and again to check if you have got any kind of notification or any new messages that you have got, right? Do you guys remember that? That ancient website of Facebook was built using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Right now, when you're using Instagram.com, that does not happen right over there, right? Automatically, you see a notification that a new message has come up. Automatically, you see a new particular like notification that, okay, somebody liked your post or something like that. So now that does not happen. The reason again is React.js. So what does React.js does? Let us try to understand it. So when I go to Instagram, let's go to Instagram itself. And let us take a snapshot of Instagram. Let us take up a snapshot of Instagram. So let me make it a little bit smaller right over here so that we are able to see something. So if you guys are able to see, if I scroll down below at some particular point of time, okay, the some particular point of time, it refreshes the page for me and it loads up more posts for me. Were you guys able to see that? At the bottom of the page itself, if you guys notice the bottom of the page, it loads more posts for me right over there, right? If I again scroll down a lot more, it will just load more posts for me. So instead of refreshing the page to see more posts, it is already doing that for us. Again, this is where the component factor comes into place. Think about it. Any website that you're visiting is nothing else but HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So what happened in the early days was your entire website was created just by using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So where is this data coming on? Where is this post coming in from? Where is all this images coming in from? It is coming in from the back end of your website. Somewhere in the back end, all these posts, all these comments, all these images, all these messages are being stored. Your front end is just the place where you're interacting with them, where you are able to see them properly itself, right? So early on, what used to happen was your entire website had to connect to your backend to check if any new messages or any new notifications were there. So you had to refresh the entire website to tell the website, hey, dude, connect with the backend, ask if any new messages or any new notifications are there. If there are, then it shows you that particular message or notification. Now with the incoming of components itself, each of these components are like a mini website. Each of these components, even this logo as well, will be one component. Each of these components will be its own mini website. Think about it as a mini website itself, which is automatically able to contact the server, the backend on its own. Now you don't need your entire website to be connected to the backend. Each component that you want can be connected to the backend itself. Each component is continuously in talks with the backend. If any kind of new changes are there, any new notifications, any new messages are there, it automatically just tells the front end that any okay, for your particular component there is a particular notification or message, showcase it to the user. So only this components gets refreshed, not your entire website. You don't need to refresh your entire website itself. Only that particular component gets refreshed. Similar to that right over here, when you look at the Instagram, think about these posts. the section that you are able to see just in the middle itself, that contains all these posts in the middle, these are nothing else but a component on its own. As soon as you're scrolling to the bottom of the entire page, it identifies that the posts are over, and it calls the backend and asks that, okay, the posts are over, can you load more posts for me? The backend sends some more posts, and that is what you are able to see right over here. Initially, if you wanted to do this, you would have to refresh the entire page to see if any new posts or any new messages are there or not. That is the point of React.js. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. One of the other features of major features of React.js, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. The 8th day project session for web animation using JavaScript. Pushpendra best. I know I'm not able to take it up right now. I'm promising you that will happen. The certificates for the same will be sent by tomorrow itself. Even the class will happen in the future, but I know many of you guys are waiting for the certificates. The certificates will be sent by tomorrow itself. And I will try my best that within this week I'm able to take up the project as well, because I'm not getting any time. I just came back from a class right now at 8 o'clock. It ended, and I'm starting this particular session at 8:15 now. So I'm not able to get any time for taking up the session. As soon as I'm able to take, because I want to take up the session live, I don't want to just record the session and post it. So as soon as I'm able to take some time, I will be taking up the session. Nevertheless, the certificates for the same will be released. All the certificates will be released by tomorrow itself. I hope that solves your query, Pushpendra. Please let me know. I know, Pushpendra, even I want to take up that class, but I'm not getting any time. I don't know if you know it or not. I'm just coming from a class right now. So my class started at 6, my shift, so I am already doing a job as well. So from morning 9 o'clock to 5:30, I'm having my office. At 6, I start another class of mine. From 6 to 8, I'm having one class. Then from 8:15 to whenever this class goes on, I'm having second class. Then from 10 o'clock to 12, I'm having another class. So I'm not getting any time. So Rohan, I think so, was there in my previous class that I had from 6 to 8. You can just confirm with Rohan as well. I'm not lying about it. So I'm not getting any time to actually take up the class. As soon as I'm getting one day free, I will take up the session live itself. I want to make sure that I'm able to take up that session live. So I promise you one thing, that the class will happen right over there. It is my fault that I'm not able to take up the class on time, but I will still do it. The certificates and everything will be released for you guys. You don't have to worry about it. Just give me some time, guys. I'm trying my best so that I'm able to get some time to take up the class. Just be a little bit patient, guys. That is all that I can ask you from. I know this is my problem, my fault itself, that you guys are not having your last class, but the certificates and everything has already been released. You don't have to worry about it. Python and machine learning certificates have been released. I think so. Today morning itself, I saw the certificates there on LinkedIn. So I think so. The certificates for Python and machine learning have already been released. Let me just cross verify that once. So usually, even I don't know when the certificate is released. I just check up on LinkedIn itself if somebody has posted the certificates. From there, I get to know the certificates have been released or not. So let me just check it once. Yeah, so Python and machine learning certificates have started to be released. So the student has got the DevTown and the Google certificates. I think so. The certificates have started to release itself. Maybe it might take 1 or 2 days to reach to the certificates that you have to get, because there are a lot of people in the class. So yeah, in a few days you will be able to receive it as well. Okay, so in the certificates, it contains that, I'm pretty sure of it, as you're able to see right over here. Learn DevOps for web development. So every certificate contains the like name of the bootcamp as well. Otherwise, how will we identify which particular certificate is for which particular bootcamp? So it's already there. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. So yeah, now that is done, I can go back. I think so. The machine learning has been released. So this guy has got the certificates for Facebook login using HTML, CSS. Then every single bootcamp, we have the name of the bootcamp right over there. Okay, so let's continue with that, guys. The bootcamp is still going on, Divya. How will I release the certificate even before the bootcamp is over? Okay. Okay, so let's continue from right over there, guys. So have you guys understood this concept of every component being in talks every component being in talks with the backend, guys. Are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? That every single component on your screen inside when you are creating your entire project itself, every single component is in talks with the backend. That is the reason why it is able to self-update itself right over there. There's an entire concept of virtual DOM and everything that is there, a real DOM or virtual DOM, how it checks that it needs to be updated or not. That is there, but that is the basic concepts of it. Okay. Okay, so Kumar Samyak has already posted my certificates of Python and machine learning on LinkedIn. That's great, Kumar. So there are some people who are able to vouch for me that the certificates are there. Okay, great. So let's continue from right over there itself, guys. So now, without wasting any time, let's start with creating a component in React.js, guys. Okay, without wasting any time, shall we start creating one component in React.js? At least we'll be able to do some hands-on work today, because for the past 2 days it's all like blah 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 blah, and then just the net goes off. So before the net goes off today, I hope it doesn't. Let's start with a little bit of coding, right, guys? A little bit of coding just to get the feel back of coding. Like from a very long time I have not coded something with you guys. So we'll open up Code Sandbox, guys, once again. We'll be using Code Sandbox right over here. For those guys who are there in the bootcamp itself, please try to understand it. Many of the students right over here in the live chat or in the bootcamp as well do not have laptops. Very few people have their laptops. So we need to make sure that everybody coming into this particular bootcamp is able to practice what I'm teaching, is able to make the project that we are going to make. Okay. So for that clear reason, we are going to use Code Sandbox right over here. If you don't know, you can just search for this particular term Code Sandbox on Google. Like over here, after search for Code Sandbox, it will open up the first particular website. It's a free website to use, guys. Even I'm using the free tier. I've not paid for anything, as you're able to see. I'm using the free trial for the past 2 years, and I've taken up more than 500 boot camps up till now using the free trial. So you don't have to pay for anything right over here. You guys can use it. You can code on this on your mobile phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, anywhere. The best part is whatever you're coding will be automatically deployed. So you will be able to share your project with anybody in the entire world. They will be able to use your project as well. That is one of the best parts about using Code Sandbox, guys. So once you have opened up the Code Sandbox, you have logged in into the platform using your Google or your GitHub IT, select this create button on the top right corner, this create button, this plus symbol right over there. Once you have selected that, select React.js. Okay, there are many different templates that are there. We want to work with React.js, not React White, but TS. We want to use just the plain old React version itself. Once you open that up, it will create a sandbox for you where you will be able to write your React.js code. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to restructure this a little bit. Now, on the left hand side, you will be able to see all the files that are there inside of your sandbox, all the folders that are there inside of your sandbox, guys. In the middle, you will be able to see the place where you're going to write your code. Okay, whatever code that you want to write, whatever file that you want to open, it will appear in the middle of your screen itself. On the right hand side, you are able to see the website that has already been deployed, that is already in use itself. So first we'll lessen up the clutter right over here. We don't want the files right now, so we can close the files by clicking on this explore button. This file like icon on the left hand side, you can just click on that. We'll just close the entire thing up for you. And the browser, there is a button called as open in new window. This button on the top right corner itself, guys. Just click on this button, open a new window. That will open up the website in a new tab itself. So you are able to see it right over there. So it will lessen up the clutter on your website itself. So this is the website that is already there. And then right over here, guys, just drag and drop it to the end, and then increase the size of your screen. Okay, just increase the size of your screen, so you will only be able to see the code in front of you. Next, we need to delete some files, modify some files itself. So we are again going to click on the explore button. Please do remember one thing again, guys, do not code along with me. If you're trying to code along with me, you will not be listening to me carefully. You will be missing out on steps itself, and I don't want that for you. So please listen to what I'm saying, write down some notes if you want, but do not code along with me. This video is available with you guys with lifetime access. You can come back to this video, scroll it back, watch it again at any particular point of time. So please don't code along with me. Listen to me very, very, very carefully itself. Okay, I'll just pop up the chat right over here because I'm not able to see your chats anymore. My phone just died right now. Okay. So right over here, guys, as you're able to see, we are having the coding section. We are having the files. We're going to delete the app.js file first of all. We don't require the app.js file. So just click on this little cross button on the right hand side of app.js and delete it. We don't want it. Instead of the index.js, just select everything, Control A, and delete everything inside of index.js. Index.js should be completely empty, guys. Your styles.css, just click on it, drag it and drop it inside of the public folder. Okay, initially the styles.css is present inside of the src folder. Just click on it, drag and drop it inside of the public folder. So your public folder should contain your index.html and your styles.css, guys. Along with that, your src folder, that is the source folder, should contain just your index.js file, and that is completely empty, as you're able to see right over here. These things we are doing because we want to learn React.js from the utmost scratch. We don't want to start with any template code or something like that. We want to learn the meaning of every single line of code. So we'll be using a very scratch, like a blank canvas for us to work with, so that we are able to learn and understand every single line of code itself, guys. The first thing that we are going to learn right over here is that this is your JavaScript code, guys. This is your JavaScript code. The existence of a library is not known to JavaScript, that there is something called as React.js that exists somewhere out in the entire world. We have no idea for it. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. JavaScript has no idea that something called as React.js actually exists right over there. So first thing that we are going to do is we are going to tell JavaScript that you require this library called as React.js to actually work. Without this requirement of React.js, there will be no code that you will be able to run. You need to tell JavaScript that you require this library. What you do is we are going to create a var called as React, and that is going to store for us a particular require. So it is going to tell JavaScript that you need to require a particular library called as React. Okay. Now, what is the value of pi, guys? What is the value of pi? Pi that exists in mathematics, not in real world in English, not. Okay, what is the meaning? What is the value of pi, guys? Please let me know. 3.14, right? Now, what if I say that the value of pi from today is 5.14? Is it possible or not, guys? Please let me know. From today, if I say that the value of pi is 5.14, is it possible or not, guys? Please let me know. If I say that from today, the value of pi is 5.14, is it possible or not? Why? Why is it not possible, guys? Many of you guys are saying no. Why is it not possible, guys? Why is it not possible? So, yes, many of you guys are saying no, but why is it not possible, guys? Because it is a constant value, it is fixed, it is a constant value itself. But if I do the exact same thing in, let's say, JavaScript itself, I write var pi is equals to 5.14. Now I've changed its value. Now the value of pi is 5.14 itself. I've changed this value. If I write pi is equals to 3.14 initially, and I write pi is equals to 5.14, I've updated the value of pi. I've changed the value of pi from 3.14 to 5.14. But this shouldn't be the case. According to mathematics, the value of pi should be fixed. It should be a constant itself. That is 3.14. We shouldn't be able to modify it. We shouldn't be able to update it. We shouldn't be able to change it. So due to that reason, instead of declaring it as a variable, that this pi is a variable itself, we'll be declaring it as a constant. We'll be declaring it as a constant itself. That is const pi is equals to 3.14. Now I cannot do this. Pi is equals to 5.14. I can't do that. It's not going to work. Why? As you are able to see, it is already showing me a particular error, that assignment to a constant variable. I cannot update the value of pi anymore. I cannot change the value of pi anymore. It is always going to be constant. Now, just like you were having variables, this is also a very important topic right over here. Any new topic that will be coming up while doing React.js, I'll be explaining it to you guys. You don't have to worry about it. So in a similar manner itself, this React library that we are requiring right over here, it is a constant. We are not going to change the library at any particular point of time. We just want to use it, right? We are not going to change the library. We are not going to enter into the library, tear a page of a book, and then put up a new page that we have written right over there. You are not going to do that. You're just going to utilize that library. So instead of declaring it as a variable itself, we will be declaring it as a constant. That is const React is equal to require React. Now, what we saw right over there, guys, that is the React components are able to talk directly to the backend itself. You don't need to refresh the entire page. That happens due to the presence of another library of React that is there called as the React DOM library. It happens due to the another library of React called as the React DOM library itself. That is what like handles all that talking to the backend portion. We are going to use const React DOM is equals to require, and then we are going to require this React DOM library as well. So this React DOM constant is going to save this entire React DOM library that is out there, guys. Again, this React DOM library is something that comes up with React that we are going to use right over here. It is going to help us to put up things on our website. It is going to help us make our components talk to the backend itself. All that is very important because React DOM is going to handle that for us. So we need to tell JavaScript that, dude, we require a React library, we require a React DOM library itself, and that is what. Think about require as just one particular thing that in English, what do you mean by require? That you need it. Without that, things are not going to work out for you. Same way you're telling JavaScript that you require this React library, you require this React DOM library itself. Now what we're going to do is, what do you understand by the term render, guys, in normal English? What do you understand by the term render in normal English, guys? What do you understand by render in normal English? Could you guys let me know? What do you understand by the term render in normal English, guys? Step by step, Mr. Ahmed, we'll go step by step itself, okay? To capture something, to display something, to load something itself, okay? To load something, to display something, to capture something. It's called as rendering. You are rendering a video, you are rendering something to your screen itself. Right over here, we want to render something to our screen. We want to render, let's assume an H1 tag, a heading tag, or some text to our screen on our website itself. So we are going to use React DOM dot render right over there, guys. We're going to use React DOM dot render to render something to our website. So this render attribute takes up what do you want to show? What to show and where to show. Okay, that on the website, what do you want to show and where do you want to show it? Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. This particular method takes in two particular attributes, guys. That is, what do you want to render to your screen? What do you want to show on your website itself? And where do you want to show it on your website? These are the two attributes that we want on our screen, guys. What do we want to show? We want to show a particular text itself. Let's assume we want to show, hi, welcome to DevTown. Okay, this is what we want to show right over there. Hi, welcome to DevTown itself. Or else, instead of that, we are going to show an H1 or paragraph tag itself, because this is going to be a paragraph itself. So we are going to show a paragraph tag right over there that, hi, welcome to DevTown. Now this is HTML, guys. This is what I want to show on my screen, that, hi, welcome to DevTown. Now where do I want to show it? Okay, where do I want to show it? So if we go back into our files, into the public folder, into index.html, guys, files, publics folder, into our index.html. This is our HTML, guys. This is our HTML. On an HTML, you guys are able to see this particular tag right over here. Div id is equals to root. Are you guys able to see this? Div id is equals to root, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. So instead of this div id is like a container. It is like a blank container itself, just like a tiffin box. Okay, instead of the tiffin box, you can put anything. You can put up some roti, you can put up some sabji, you can put up some rice inside of it, right? So this is like an empty tiffin box, empty container, and the id, that is the name, that is the, so you need, there can be multiple div tags on our screen, guys, multiple tiffin boxes on our HTML page itself, right? So how to identify this particular div tag? You can identify it by its roll number. Just like a student has a roll number in a school that identifies it uniquely inside of the entire school, that roll number will belong particularly to that one particular child itself. Similar to that, ID right over here identifies this div tag uniquely on the entire website. It identifies it uniquely on the entire website itself. So now if I want to select, I want to load up my paragraph tag inside of this div tag. This is the location where I want where to show. I want to show it inside of this div tag itself. Now this index.html web code itself, this file index.html is called as a document. Okay, this index.html is called as a document itself. Are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know. This index.html file is called, the technical term for that is called as a document. So I'm going to say inside of my index.js where to show me. I'm going to tell it document dot get element by ID. I'm going to say document dot get element by ID itself. And so I want to get a particular element. I want to get the location of that div tag. I want to select that div tag right over there. Inside of this index.html, this is called as the document. I want to select this div tag that I want to put up my paragraph tag, my text inside of this div tag itself. So I need to select it. So to select this element, I'm going to use its ID because the ID is unique. Because its ID is unique right over there. What is that ID, guys? What is that ID? Please let me know. What is that unique ID right over there, guys? Please let me know. What is that unique ID right over there, guys? Please let me know. What is that unique ID right over there, guys? Please let me know. Root, right? So I'm going to write root right over here. That document dot get element by ID root. That is how I'm going to select my element itself. This is going to select the div tag. So what do I want to render? I want to render this particular HTML tag, that's the paragraph tag that contains hi, welcome to DevTown. Where do I want to render it? I want to render it inside of the div tag that has the ID of root right over there. So I'm having document, that is my index.html, get element by ID. I want to get the element by its ID. What is the ID? That is root. Okay, so that is how I'm going to write my render method, guys. As soon as I'm saving it, I'll be saving it right over here. As soon as I'm saving it, I'm going back to my website and reloading my page. As you're able to see, you are able to see hi, welcome to DevTown coming up on your screen. So whatever you wanted to show on your screen right over there, now it is coming up to your screen itself. Are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know. The ID, just like you guys are having a roll number, just like you guys are having an ID in your college itself that uniquely identifies you inside of the entire college, that roll number 10182, that will be a unique roll number inside of the entire college itself, right? Similar to that, inside of HTML itself, there are so many different tags that are there. To identify a singular tag, we provided with a unique roll number, a unique ID itself, and that ID right over there was root that we have already given it to it. Okay, our job is to understand React.JS. So basics of HTML, whatever is needed, I'm telling you guys that which is important for you right over there. Okay, the rest of the things which are not important, I'm not telling you guys that right now. Okay, so now that you guys have done it, the next thing is, what if I don't want to just render a like paragraph itself? I don't want to just render a particular text. I want to render a heading. I want to render something big and bold, as well as I want to render a paragraph tag right over there. So for that, I want to render an h1 tag. And inside of that h1 tag, I will write DevTown right over here. So this h1 tag basically is going to make this DevTown big and bold, guys. Again, h1 is basically your heading tag. Whatever you put inside of that h1 tag will make it big and bold, guys. That is the use of the h1 tag. It will make it big and bold, guys. So I want to have a big and bold h1 on our screen, as well as a paragraph tag right over there that contains some small text inside of it. Okay, but if I'm saving this, if I'm going back to my website, you will be able to see that it is not working. It is going to give me an error. As you're able to see right over here, give it a second. You will be given an error right over here, guys. Okay, the reason for that is what you want to display, it can only be one thing. It cannot be multiple things out there. What do you want to display right over there? It can only be one thing. You cannot have multiple things that you want to display. Here, I want to display an h1 tag as well as a paragraph tag right over there. That is not the case. You cannot do that. So to handle these type of things itself, you guys remember we used a div tag, right? What was the div tag? The div tag was a lunchbox, was a container itself. So I want to showcase two things, but I want to showcase them as one itself. So what will I do? I'll put up the h1 tag and the paragraph tag inside of the div tag. Think about it as the h1 tag is the roti, that is the bread, and the paragraph tag is the sabji. Now I cannot carry this roti and sabji in my hand to the school itself. So what do? I put it up inside of a lunch box. I put my roti, that is my bread, and my curry, that is my sabji, inside of a lunch box itself. And then I carry that lunch box to my school, or that tiffin box to my school itself, right? So think about what we are doing right over here. We want to showcase two things, but we can only showcase one. So what we'll do is we are going to enclose this inside of a div tag, a container tag itself, the opening and the closing container tag right over here. That is the div tag. Now, instead of loading up two things, we are loading up the h1 tag as well as the paragraph tag inside of the div tag. So what React is able to see is there is just one tag that we want to render. We don't want to render two tags. Okay. We don't want to render two tags. Right over here, as you're able to see, there's just one tag, that's a div tag that contains the h1 tag and the paragraph tag inside of it. So we save this and go back to our website. You will be able to see that a big and bold DevTown, that's the h1 tag, as well as the paragraph tag is now rendering to your screen. Are you guys able to see? So if you want to render multiple things on your screen, you will have to use a div tag right over there. Are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know. Up till now, are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. We have not yet reached to components. We are going to create our very first component right now, guys. This is just the basics, guys. We are going to create our very first component right now. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to convert this entire code. First of all, before doing that, we are writing our code inside of index.js, right, guys? We are writing our code inside of index.js. This is a JavaScript code. This is meant to be a JavaScript code, right? Now, everything that we have studied till yesterday, guys, everything, all the JavaScript code that we have studied till yesterday is called as your vanilla JavaScript code, guys. It's the most basic version of JavaScript that is out there. The purest form of JavaScript that is all out there called as vanilla JavaScript. Right over here, as you're able to see, it has JavaScript. This is JavaScript, guys. This entire thing is JavaScript. This is also JavaScript, but this particular portion is not JavaScript, guys. This is HTML. This is HTML. This is not JavaScript. So how are we able to write HTML code inside of a JavaScript file? Because right over here, you're not writing vanilla JavaScript. This code, guys, this entire file, the code that is present inside of this entire file is called as JSX code. Okay. JSX code, that is called as JavaScript XML code. It is a hybrid between JavaScript as well as XML, guys. It is a hybrid between the two. It's a hybrid between JavaScript and XML, guys. Are you guys able to understand it? Please let me know, guys. This is not pure JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript, guys. This is called a JavaScript XML code. Now, so we can do the exact same thing using just your vanilla JavaScript as well. We don't have to use this JSX code, guys. We can do it using vanilla JavaScript. Tomorrow I'm going to show you guys how to render this exact same thing using vanilla JavaScript. Tomorrow I will show you guys that, and you will easily be able to understand why do we use JSX. Okay, so tomorrow's class I will be showing you guys how to do the exact same thing without using JSX, directly using vanilla JavaScript. So I'll be showing you guys that, guys. It is very simple, very easy, and you will easily be able to understand why do we use JSX, guys. That I'll be telling you guys in tomorrow's class. So please wait till that point of time. Now we'll be focusing upon creating our very first component. We want to change this entire thing into our very first component itself, guys. So to create a component, like I said, you create a function. Okay, you create a function itself, guys. We'll call this function, if you can see it here, function as intro. We'll call this as intro itself, guys, and we'll put up a parenthesis right over here and then curly braces, and this function is going to return to us, okay, this entire code. That is all. This function is going to return to us this entire code. That is all. This is what this function does. This function intro does only one thing. It returns to us this entire piece of code. That's it. And the name of this function is called as intro. And the name of this function is called as intro, guys. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Very simple, guys. Creating a component is very simple. You create a function called as intro and you put up all your code inside of that as a return statement. This function is going to return all your code for you. And now instead of using this code right over here, we are going to use our component that we have created called as intro. That's it. This is how you create the entire thing into a component. As simple as that, guys. So instead of using your entire code right over here, we have converted it into a very simple component. Now, there's no benefit of this, right? Your same code is still remaining inside of the same particular file. Why do we have this concept of components? It is because when you're working on a very big project, for example, when I was working in Google, if I am working on a particular website of Google itself, there will be at least 10,000 other developers who are working on, maybe one developer is just working on a button, maybe one developer is just working upon a headline itself. There are 10,000 other developers at Google who are working on the exact same website. Now, all of us, if we are writing the code inside the same file itself, it is going to be very difficult for us to come up with one final version of the file. Think about it. One file being edited by 10,000 people at the same particular point of time. It will be very, very, very difficult for you to figure out which particular version of the file should you keep and which particular version of the file should you not keep right over there. For that particular reason itself, instead of putting up the entire function right over here, instead of using the component right over here, we create individual files for every single component. For example, right over here, guys, I will go right over here. I will create a new file. I will create a new file called as intro.jsx. I'm going to create a new file called as intro.jsx. This is a JSX file, guys. Again, because we are writing JSX code inside of it, we need to tell that we are using React.JS right over there. We'll be pasting out that const React is equal to require React right over here. And then inside of it, we are going to put up our entire function. Inside of this particular file, we are going to put up our entire function, guys. That is function intro return blah, 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 blah. Now think about it in such a way. There are two files, guys. There are two files. As you're able to see, inside of index.js, there is no intro function. Inside of index.js, there is no intro function, guys. You don't know what intro basically means. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know. There is no intro function inside of index.js, guys. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know. Whereas inside of the intro.js file, there is the intro function that we require. So if I go back to my drawing board and I'll explain you guys right over there itself. There are two functions right over here, guys. One, let's assume is a country, India. That is your index.js. That needs intro function. It needs intro function to do something. So India requires iPhones. Okay, India requires iPhones. Okay, iPhones are not built here. iPhones are not present in India. But there is a demand of iPhones in India itself. Similar to that, here there is a demand of index function, the intro function. Okay, there is a demand for the intro function. Now you are having China right over here. It has the iPhones right over here, guys. So here you don't have the iPhones, you don't have the intro functions. China has the iPhones. And this intro.jsx has your intro function as well. So what do? You tell China to export, right? You tell China to export the iPhones. You tell China to export the iPhones and you tell India to import the iPhones itself, right? You tell India to import those iPhones. That is how basically you will make sure that iPhones are available in India. So China basically has to export the iPhones that it has and India has to import those iPhones so that it is able to use it. Similar to that right over here as well, we need to export the intro.js function. We need to export these function and this export function needs to be imported inside of the index.js. Are you guys able to understand this? So by default, so if India is importing something from China, by default, it should be the iPhones that are getting imported. And by default, if any country wants to import something from China, it should be the iPhones that they are importing right over there. So by default, China needs to export just iPhones. If any country is asking that I want to import something from you, China by default will export the iPhones itself. Similar to that, if anybody is asking for something from our intro.jsx file, by default, that intro.jsx file should export our intro function. Are you guys able to see? We are able to modularize the entire thing, guys. We are able to modularize the entire thing. Now you are not having the intro function inside of index.js. So if some particular person, if I am a particular person who's working for the company, I just have to work on this particular aspect itself. I'll just open the intro.jsx code and I'll just work right over here. I don't have to do anything else. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Rutuja, I will just like you to know that no matter if you are having your 100% attendance as well, Rutuja, you are not going to get your certificates. I'm very sorry to tell you this, but for this particular bootcamp, even Rutuja, if you are having 100% certificate attendance, Shivam Kumar, Rutuja, if you are having 100% attendance as well, you will not be able to get your certificates. Shivam Kumar and Rutuja. The reason for that is you are here just for the attendance, not for the classes. So we will not be able to give you guys the attendance. It's very simple as that. Okay. Because if you are here to learn, it's fine. If you're here for the attendance, we blacklist you and we don't give you the certificate. So don't come to the next particular bootcamp saying that the certificates, you don't get the certificates, because I'm telling you very blankly right over here that you're not going to get the certificates. So if you want to stay in the class, learn right over here, it's fine. You want to leave the class, it's fine as well. Okay. Great. So let's continue right over here, guys. Like I said, so we have shifted our intro function right over here. We need to export it, right? We need to export it. So export default intro. So I'm saying right over here that any particular country or any other file wants to import something from intro.jsx by default, okay, intro.jsx by default is going to export the intro function. This intro function that we created is by default going to export the intro function itself. Okay, similar to that, right over here inside of index.js, we need to import it, right? To use it, we need to import it. So import, and then you are having intro.js. We need to import intro as a function from intro.jsx. So we are saying right over here that we need to import the intro function from the intro.jsx file. Now why I have put up a dot slash right over here? This basically means wherever index.js is present, in whatever folder index.js is present, inside of the same folder, find the file whose name is intro.jsx. Okay, this dot slash that is there before the intro.jsx, this basically says that inside of the same folder where my index.jsx is present, inside of the same folder inside of which our index.js file is present, find the file that is called as intro.jsx. Find the file that is called as intro.jsx, guys. So right over here, as you're able to see, inside the same folder, that is the src folder, our index.js file is present inside the src folder. So the same folder, find the file that is called as intro.jsx and import the function intro from it. And that is what we are using right over here. Okay, that is what we are using right over here, guys. So if I save it, I go back to my website and reload my page, everything is working absolutely fine. There's no issues in that. But this time our intro code is not over here. Our intro code is present in intro.jsx. So if any developer wants to make any changes, he can come to this file and make changes while other developers are working on other things. That is the main point why we put up components in their own files itself, in their own file system, to make it more modular so that multiple developers can work on the same particular project. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. This concept of JSX, why are we using JSX? Why not vanilla JavaScript? That we'll be solving in our tomorrow's class, guys. I'll be showing you if I wanted to write the exact same code using just JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript, how would it look like? And you will immediately be able to identify that why we are using JSX, guys. Okay, so some important concepts like Babel and everything I'll be explaining you guys in tomorrow's class. For today's class, I'm giving you guys a small assignment, guys. Can I give you guys a small assignment for today's class? Please let me know. Can I give you guys a small assignment for today's class, guys? Please let me know. The small assignment is going to be that just revise whatever we have learned in today's class. That's it. That's the small assignment, guys. Just revise what we have done in today's class, guys. Because in tomorrow's class, once we are going further and further towards our projects, things are going to come up. New things are going to come up every single day. So if your past things are not cleared, then you will be facing a lot of problems in the future. So please guys, a very small request before coming to tomorrow's class, make sure that you guys are able to revise today's class, guys. That's all. A very small assignment, guys. Okay. So in the meanwhile, I'll be creating your attendance right now. Give me a second. I'm giving you guys a very small assignment, guys. Please do revise today's class by coming to the next class. Sir, but it will by default export intro function. So it's compulsory to write intro in import. Yes, of course, because that is the name of the function that you're using. You are naming that function. So whatever is getting exported, now maybe in China, the iPhones are called as pear phones or grape phones itself. Maybe it's not iPhones, it is grape phones in China. But when it's getting imported into India, we call it as iPhones, right? That is what intro right over there specifies, that I'm calling it as iPhone. Whatever is getting imported right over here, I'm going to call it as intro itself. That is what you're writing right over there. Okay. Today I'm taking up the attendance. Today is day 4, guys. Tomorrow's class we are redoing it today. So today is day 4. This is not day 5, guys. Just to clarify it. Today is day 4, guys, not day 5. Okay, it is day 4, guys. So I'm giving you guys the attendance right now. The attendance will be closed in 5 minutes as soon as I give you. So please be ready for that. Today is day 4, guys, not day 5. I'm just being very clear with it. So please tell again the meaning of dot slash function. Dot slash basically means that wherever the index.js is present, wherever this index.js is present, now the index.js is present inside of this folder called as src right over here, right? So wherever index.js is present inside of the same folder, that is the src folder, find a file called as intro.jsx, that is dot slash. Find the file called as intro.jsx, guys. That is what it is specifying right over there. I hope that you were able to understand it. 04 responses are open, link. If you have multiple components in the same file, you will only be able to export one of them. Okay, that is the default one. Right over here, guys, I have provided you guys with the attendance. The attendance link will be closed exactly at 9. I think that's 9. 9:14. Okay, the attendance link will be closed in the next 5 minutes. That is 9:14, guys. Please start filling up your attendance right now. Exactly 9:14, your attendance will be closed. Please start filling up your attendance right now, guys. At exactly 9:14, your attendance will be closed right over there. Please start filling up your attendance right now, guys. At exactly 9:14, your attendance will be closed. How we call the function in the render function? Okay, instead of the render function itself, right over here, Prasoon Jain. Okay, whatever you imported the intro from intro.jsx, right? This function got created, you exported it right over here, you imported it right over here. Now to just use it instead of calling that function, because this is JSX, not vanilla JavaScript. This is JSX and this is a component, not a function anymore. So to do that, we call it by just writing this particular type of structure. This is called as a self-closing tag. This is called as a self-closing tag because it has no opening and closing tag. You had an opening h1 tag, a closing h1 tag right over there. Because it does not require that, to call it a self-closing tag. That is how. What do you want to render? So this intro function, you want to render it right over there, this intro component itself. And where do you want to render it? So that document.getElement by ID, that is where you want to render it. Okay. Like I said, guys, the attendance will be closed at exactly 9:14. Guys, please start filling up your attendance right now. Okay, so we'll meet in tomorrow's class and we'll be continuing from right over there. Can you show briefly how to start JavaScript coding when you are in Google? Sure. So just right click anywhere on your website, any website itself, do a right click, go to inspect option. inside of inspect, you can either code inside of the console or you can code it inside of the sources. Then go to this arrows, go to snippets, and you will be able to code it right over here, whatever you want to code. We are able to store number of functions in one component. Yes, of course, you can do that. So can we repeat cards in HTML by using single code of using JavaScript, React.JS? You can absolutely do that. You want to write this exact same code 2 times. Just instead of create a div tag right over here. Create a div tag right over here. Div. Okay. Opening div tag and then your closing div tag. Save this. And inside of this, you can write your intro. Intro / this. And you can put it up as many times as you want. The same particular component we are using, reloading it almost 5 times. Okay. So we go back to our website. Right over here, I'm rendering a div tag which contains 5 intro tags inside of it. Guys. So I go back to my website. You are able to see that the same thing is happening 5 times on my screen. Guys. Okay, so as I said, you guys can use this. We are not writing the intro function again and again. We are not writing the code again and again, guys. We are just using the component itself, and that is how you are able to put up it 5 times as well. Okay. Okay, guys. So we'll meet in tomorrow's class, and we'll continue from right over there. And I hope that you guys are able to come up to tomorrow's class on time, so that we are able to learn properly. So can we use VS Code? Absolutely yes, but many of the students don't have a laptop, so I'm using a code sandbox itself. Okay, please make sure that you guys are able to come up on time, guys, and we'll be continuing from right over there. Thank you so much, guys. We'll meet tomorrow. Bye guys. Bye guys.